Hi, so we're going to be starting off with the first question, which is tell us about yourself and your plans for your future. Be sure this focuses on the field of VOHS. So, my name is Daniel. I'm currently a fourth year Fresno State student, and I'm majoring in environmental occupational health and safety, also known as OHS. During my time here, I have done various internships. I've done four in total, which has been with the Kings County Health Department, Calgary Environmental, uh, Fresno State Health Department, and Dole Fresh Vegetables based in Salinas. I've also am part of the College Corps program during my time here at Fresno State. Um, if you don't know, the College Corps program basically partners you up with a host site where you do volunteer hours. In my case, it was Scout Island. And what I did there was work on various projects and educate kids on nature and environment, on the environment itself. And so it was all, every project we did was for the kids and just trying to educate them, as I mentioned, about the environment. So what I plan to do is actually go back home after I graduate, and which is Salinas. And since I'm a Salinas native, I want to know about more about or be part of the history of Salinas. If you guys don't know, Salinas is really agricultural based, and um, just being part of that, I think, gives me tremendous pride and a sense of fulfillment. And so, what I would like to do is work in the private sector, since there's lots of various companies out there that focus on that. I do have an insight into the private sector, since I mentioned I have done internship with Dole Fresh Vegetables. So, move on to the second question. What are the greatest strengths that you can bring to the field of environment / occupational health? What weaknesses do you feel like you need to improve on? So, a strength I've mentioned is I kind of have an insight into Dole Fresh Vegetables. Um, and so I do have um, the ag kind of knowledge of what it requires and what the culture is, especially in Salinas, since it was based in Salinas, and also its people. Lots of the workers are Spanish speaking, and I'm a Spanish speaker myself, and so I feel like I could break that language barrier that is so difficult sometimes, and it makes it hard to establish those relationships early on, and that's kind of like one of my weaknesses is actually trying to include everyone. Everyone's different, so you kind of have to get to know them first in order to include them. And that's basically the best way to do it. It does take time, and I think that's one of the issues of why I struggle with it. But within time, it's possible. So, moving on to the third and last question, which is what steps would you take if there is an OHS issue with a business or employee during a field inspection? So, with this question, I'm going to assume that you may be talking about that it's talking about the public sector. Just because I know there's field inspections that in the private sector you might go out just to see how employees are doing. Are they doing everything safe? But I think this might be talking about the public sector. So for the public sector, if you're gonna go out and do a field inspection and there's an issue, if it's something that's a really big issue that you feel like your life is in danger, you should just walk out, leave, get to a safe area. Last thing you want is to endanger your life. If it's not that big of an issue, if it's more like maybe some just not connecting or understanding, then trying to make sure there's like kind of like an understanding and an evil, not evil, level ground with each other, trying to make sure that you guys are both working with each other as best as possible, And I think that's really the best way to handle it. You don't want to allow them to do too much, like basically kind of almost bossing you around. You want to make sure you guys understand each other and are actually communicating and trying to figure out the issue. You guys do not want to not go anywhere, be stuck in gridlock. So that's going to be it for my 3 questions. Thank you for hearing me out.